Okay. Without any further delay, let us please have an acclaimed and a popular name in the Indian culinary industry. Chef Ajay Chopra it is. He is very well known for his passion and innovation in the modern Indian food. He has worked with some of the biggest names like Gordon Ramsay and Angela Harnett. Ajay offers a vast experience in the food and beverage industry. He has been associated with some of the finest and the biggest five-star hotels like the Westin Hotel, the Oberoi Hotel and the Marriott Hotel. He has traveled across the globe and Ajay's famous TV reality cooking show, that is MasterChef India. So he is the MasterChef of India. You all have seen him on TV, but tonight you are about to witness him live. With a huge round of applause once again for Chef Ajay Chopra.
Thank you so much for all the love and affection that you guys show to a TV celebrity. I wish you could show that much love and affection to your teachers. Am I hitting the right chords? Am I speaking something which is touching here? I am going to talk blunt and I'm not going to talk sweet here, because I think it is my responsibility today in this 30 minutes that I've been given to talk to you about reality. Well, the topic which is written outside is the master's advice. First of all, I'm not the master. All right, I am not the master. There are many like me who are masters, and we become masters purely because we slogged it out. Jo Chef Harpal ne kaha, that is so true. Unless the wood goes through the grind, it doesn't shine. How about that? So how many of you are in third year? All right, almost 30% of the is third year students ready to get out, face the industry, and then possibly say goodbye to it 4 to 5 years from now. Am I right? Am I right? Well, that's been the trend, that's been the study for the last 20 years, that people who have been a part of this industry in India haven't survived more than 4 years. The reason is that today, what excites you doesn't excite you tomorrow. The only reason is because there is so much more hard work. Now, I'm going to take my example so that possibly I can share my life with you. And if my life can be of any good reason for you to go out there and work hard, please do that. I will be really happy. I started my career as a prep cook in TGI Fridays. I was a gold medalist in my IHM, which was IHM Goa. And when I passed out, I actually thought that I'm going to get a nice management trainee's role. I'm going to get a nice cushy job where I'm going to learn good things, and that's it. But guess what? Thank goodness it's Fridays. That was the name of the restaurant, TGIF. And I was a prep cook doing 7 months of night shift, only chopping vegetables. How much more motivation do you need to stay in the industry? Right? And I had friends who passed out with me. We had a batch of 120 people, and today we have 4 people out of my batch who are still continuing. So that's the data which is available in front of us. Now, the very reason for that is that because when the beginning happens, there is no insight to what we are getting into. I want to talk to people. So please respond when I talk to you guys. When you guys enter this college, there are 40 or 50% of you who entered this stream because you couldn't get into any other stream. Mera bhi yahi haal tha. My parents wanted me to become a doctor. My parents wanted me to become an engineer. I couldn't carry that much burden of books. I used to sleep on them. And there you go. I got through IHM. And that's what I got through. But the day I entered the college, actually that would be a bit of a lie, 1 month down the line, I was peeling chickens. Everybody around me was hating that action, And I was loving it. I don't know what happened to me, but I was loving it. I was just loving peeling those chickens. And that day I had decided that come what may, something is telling me that I'm going to be a chef for all of my life. Get to the first year out in the industry for a 6 months training, and I'm out there with a tray of beverages serving in a banquet function, and here I see my dad in that same function. And guess what happens? I didn't want my dad to see that I was serving beverages in a 5-star hotel. I was ashamed. Guess what? What is that one thing in India which tells us about us? What are we? Atithi Devo Bhava. What does that mean? Guest is not God. Guest is like God. All right? Which means that we as Indians believe in a principle, a philosophy that we will serve you. Service is not a problem. Service is not something that we should get ashamed of. But we as Indians are possibly moving away from that. That is the reality of today. Now, you guys are standing on the brink of a very bright future. You are the people who are going to bring about the change in the coming 10 years. If you believe that, let's say Yahoo! Yahoo! And how are you going to bring that change? And how are you going to bring that change? Hard work only? Innovation only? Passion only? Focus only? Creativity only? Everything put together, guys. Everything put together is going to bring you change. Today, you stand in an era where there is so much knowledge available. In our times, there used to be one computer in our college and there was no Google. So we could not just Google everything and just say, okay, bacon is actually the hind leg of pork and it is cured for 3 years, and then after salting it for so many days, that's how it becomes the bacon. We didn't know that information. We had to go find out 20 books, see bacon here, understand which is the right information, and then learn it. Today, bacon, you have a full list of things, right? So all I'm trying to say is that you guys have a huge opportunity standing in front of you to become what you want to become. Now, let's talk about some negatives and some positives of this industry. Negatives. There are some parents here, and I'm sure that they will quickly rise up to this when I say that your children come home at 12 o'clock in the night. Am I right? After doing a hard days of work, you're back at home at an unhumanly hour. Is that a negative or a positive? How is it a positive? You know, I look at it as a positive because I don't get any traffic on the road. I look at it as a positive because I am actually free and talking to myself at that hour in my car. So there is a positive to everything. You guys need to be positive. You guys need to also evaluate that where is it that you want to get to. Today, if I ask you a question, how many of you want to become master chefs? How many of you want to become chefs? How many of you want to become executive chefs? Okay, so there's not too many in here who want to be chefs. There are people who want to be probably doing something else. But the reason why I asked is because I went to my college about 10 years back, and that was a time when I met all those students, and I asked them that how many of you want to be chefs, and 90 people out of 100 rose their hands up and said, we want to be chefs. I asked the next question, how many of you will be chefs? 30% of the room put their hands down. My next question was, how many of you will remain chefs after 4 years? Guess what? There were only 20 hands. And my next question was, how many will you remain chefs after 10 years? There were 2 hands. So to get to my position, it requires a lot of hard work, a lot of perseverance, a lot of deaths in the family not being attended to, a lot of marriages in the family not being attended to, a lot of times you're sick and running 103 fever, still working. That is what it takes to become what I am today. Now let me not bore you with so many facts and figures. You guys are here to have some amount of learning. This is the hospitality convention. I'm supposed to speak about blah, 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 blah. So let's just lighten up a little bit and ask you some questions. Who wants to go abroad? These guys will take you abroad. That's what they're here for. I'm really serious. That's what they're here for. They'll take you abroad. They'll give you a master's degree. Now, why do you need a master's degree? Can you not do with a BSc in hotel management? No? Why? Any one answer, the first hand, why do you think that BSc in hotel management is not enough? Anybody? Okay, for the benefit of everybody, the lady just saying that we don't specialize in any one department, and that's the reason possibly BSc in hotel management is not good enough. Well, that's true, but what happens is that after the age of 18, when you pass out your school, you are entering into a career which is hotels, a career which is glamorous, a career which is very different, not something that you would have imagined to be. But you do not have the know-how to be in that position and also the maturity to be in that position. Now, what happens to anybody who does a master's in any field is he does that over and over and over again. I passed out through IHM Goa in 98. Post that, my only one dream was that I wanted to get through OCLD. How many of you know OCLD? How many of you want to go to OCLD? All right? I know very less hands will come out because it's probably the most toughest thing to get through OCLD. Every year, there are 24,000 people who apply to that school and only 13 get through. So that's how difficult it is. I did not get through that college in 98. 99, there was no OCLD batch. In 2000, I barely made it into the course. But when I entered there, I realized that getting into that course was difficult, but being in that course was even more difficult. When I passed out, I was a polished metal which was almost shining. The reason why I'm speaking to you about post-graduation being such an important factor is because you need to address in yourself what is it that you really want and go after it. All right? Now, I think I'm sounding too boring, am I? Too much gyan? Should I become Harpal Singh Sokhi? All right, we'll get to some questions. I just want to touch upon some things that I've been hearing over the morning, where Jaswinder talked about certain foreign brands coming in, putting in a lot of money, hotels coming in and trying to pick up, talent from within. Alan spoke about building a nation with great talent. This is last year when I attended the F&B conference in Shanghai, where Starwood, where I used to work, Mr. Dilip Puri, who's the regional vice president, was talking about the entire 2015 and how it's going to be. And guess what? What he said was that the next year, the challenge is not going to be about market share, but it's going to be about talent. Which means that hotels which are opening by the speed of light, 20, 30, 40 hotels opening every year, are now figuring out that they have no talent. They have nobody to run those hotels, because every single hotel will need an executive chef, will need a general manager, will need a housekeeper, will need all those people and many, many more people to run that whole campaign. Who's going to do that? You guys are going to do that, right? Not just hotels. What all streams do you have to perform today? How many more streams can you get into just because of hotel management? Hotels is not the only thing. You can go into restaurants directly, because food and beverage industry is changing in a big way. In 5 years' time, you will not see 5-star hotels serving out great food, but you will actually see great restaurants on the high street selling great food with the comparative of a similar price range of what is happening in the West today. How many of you guys know about Yaocha, the restaurant? Do you know a plate of dim sum costs how much? About $700. They serve 3 pieces. All right? A 5-star hotel probably gives better value for money today than Yaocha. Yaocha is a standalone restaurant, and 5-star hotels are 5-star hotels. What I'm trying to say is that restaurant industry in India is growing significantly. I have launched a new program which is an e-commerce food portal. अभी तक Flipkart ने बोला कि आप अपने ऑफ डे पे क्यों शॉपिंग करने जाते हो, आप घर बैठो, आप Flipkart पे ऑर्डर करो, करेक्ट? मैं कहता हूं कि आपको एक ऑफ मिलता है, आप उसमें खाना क्यों बनाते हो? खाना ऑर्डर करो, राइट? कौन शॉपिंग करेगा, कौन ये सब करेगा? मैं आपको करके देता हूं, आप करके. That's how I am building that e-commerce business. There is so much more which is happening in our country today in terms of food and beverage, and a bigger part of it is now, which I'm going to touch, which is going to excite you people, is food media, right? Everybody wants to become a celebrity chef first. That's right? What is food media? When a MasterChef television program happens and you see that on the screen, there are people and people in hundreds who are behind the scenes getting those things organized, getting that pantry organized, getting the way the vegetables look the way they look, getting the plates the way they look, to look the way they look. So food media is coming out to be another different medium altogether for you guys to pursue.